Hi guys, welcome to another episode. In this episode I'm going to talk about the oshu-mail, and this video will have three sections. First, I will show you on a website how it works. Second part will be more technical about how it works behind the scenes. And the third part will be about plans about this functionality in oshu-gun. So let's get started. As you may know, oshu-gun is a decentralized communicator, and this is also part of the Web 3. And as much as I like Web 3, I'm not against Web 2. And this oshu-mail functionality is actually a connection between Web 3 and Web 2. From my perspective, Web 3 is not a replacement of the Web 2. It is just a complementary. The same as the cars, bikes are not replacement for cars. Yeah, they work very nicely together. They have different purposes, different pros and cons, but I wouldn't say that one is significantly better always over the other one. So that's about the context. As usual, we go to oshu-gun website. We need to scroll down and start our communicator, but let's go to FAQ section. Here you can see there's a question number 7 about PO boxes. What is it and how does it work? Let's go to the main page and let's get started. Let me zoom page a little bit. Okay. So here there's a new section, and when you hover, it's a request for the new post office box. So let's click it. Yep. And here I have new generated email account for me. So I can copy this address. And now everyone can send mails to us. So let's make a test. For testing, I'm going to use Yahoo Mail. So let's compose mail. Here is an email that was just generated. Subject. And let's send it. Message was sent, so let's see how it works. And here we see our message. Yeah, so this is the first message we sent. Here's the user account, when it was sent, and it's a strong font, which means that we didn't read this message yet. So let's click. And here's the content of our message. So that's how simple it is. Now we can create another account. So we have two. Let's copy the second one. And let's send a message to the new account as well. Okay, let's send it. Message sent, and let's see if it was received. And here is our new message for our second account. The same, when you click, it's a regular font, and there's a message. And there's one thing that is also mentioned in a FAQ, that this message is only a plain text. There is no HTML. So depends on depends on the source and the mail client. There will be a new line, or they will be concatenated into a single line. So that's something to aware, at least for now. So let's go to some technical details. So in oshu-gun, there's a web part, and this web part has this chat, you might be already familiar, and this post office boxes. And this everything in this, let's say, cloud is based on GUN. So a request for a new account is not done through the HTTP, but it goes through GUN network. And when a web user requests a new post office box, oshu-gun creates a virtual user for that very user, generates SIA keys and also RSA keys. And these two public keys are sent, but again, not through the HTTP, but as a gun.js message to the mail. And this mail service generates this account based on our database with the names and surnames and sends back to this virtual user all the details about the email account, domain, and everything is encoded, encrypted using this public key. So only this virtual user can decode this message. Even a mail server, after sending this message, cannot decode this message anymore. And this message, this information about this account is also stored for the internal use of this mail service. And this mail server needs those details to be able to send received emails. Yeah, and that's how this communication with the external world looks like. So when the SMTP server from oshu-gun receives an email, it's trying to find an account based on the two field. It prepares a message and sends this to user. So this communication is going through gun.js. As I mentioned, user, this virtual user, sends RSA public, which means that mail service is allowed to use asymmetrical encoding, which is also used in this section. And because asymmetrical encryption is very expensive and very limited, so every time when this mail service receives a message and will find a key, find an account, will generate encryption keys because message can be very long and the length is unknown. But the length of the password for the SIA from the gun.js project has a fixed length. So this message will be encrypted using SIA from the gun.js, but the keys will be encrypted using the RSA public key. So the message that user will receive is it will be encrypted message and this email and encrypted keys to decrypt this very message, which means that every single message has own separate key to decrypt. Also, here you can see that there is no connection between mail service and the web user. All the communication goes through this virtual user, which means that there is no way to track who requested and to who a particular post office box is assigned to. Yeah, because this user creates this one and is listening for the messages that are going and are receiving by this user. And also this user, because mail service is kind of gun.js user as well, communicates directly with this virtual user. It never communicates with the main one. So if there will be 5 accounts for the mail service, there's no difference. It still doesn't know who requested them. And because mail service is also a gun.js user, so use exactly the same gun.js cloud, let's say, and network as any other service in oshu-gun, which means that everyone who knows this mail service public key, which is not secret, could be could list all the emails generated by this service and then use this for spam. So to avoid this, every single mail is encrypted by the SH256 algorithm. So this mail service actually doesn't store real email addresses, but it stores only hashes. So even if anyone would list generated email accounts, we'll got only hashes, which are completely useless. You may remember oshu-q functionality and email service. Let's make it more rounded. In oshu-q is a publisher. Processing short text is pretty simple, but to process files, especially if we need to chunk them and encrypt them, it will take a while. So this publisher will publish tasks for subscribers to encrypt all the mails, chunk files, and prepare everything for the mail service to send a message to end user. So that's how it works in a few words. What the plans are. Of course, I need to add this publisher to really process attachments, because for now all attachments are just forgotten. There is no processing of attachments. There are many improvements on the user interface, like deleting, sorting, search field, but there are minor things. I want to start releasing parts of this this whole system, and then let the end users of oshu-gun communicator to choose the provider of email accounts. So everyone should be able to create own mail service with their own domain, and then allow to the users create accounts there. Of course, not every mail service will be public. There might be some other constraints. Maybe some email providers will have more resources than I have, and they will be able to also provide sending emails functionality. We will see, but that's also on a to-do list. And also on a to-do list are some videos about how to prepare a dev environment for this project, and to let other users work on it as well. And that's it for this short video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in a comment section down below.